Good evening, everyone. With the time being 6:00 p.m. on Tuesday, June 9th, 2026, I will call this meeting of the Webster School Committee to order and ask that we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As a reminder, this meeting is being recorded, both video and audio, and will be posted on the district website. The first item on the agenda is the discussion and approval of the minutes from the May 26th, 2026 meeting. Is there any discussion around those minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve them.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please pull the committee?
Member Coleros?
Yes.
Member Miller?
Yes.
Chair Siddiqui?
Yes, motion passes. And then the next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report. Good evening, Mrs. Perangeli.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to start out this evening with a personnel update. I do have 2 recent retirement notices. I have Michelle Bigelow, a teacher at Bartlett High School, and Miss Andrea Fitton, a teacher at Webster Middle School. I want to wish them best in their future retirement. I also have a new hire to announce. I recently reported Miss Yesenia Marquez, an ABA at Park Ave, had left the district for new employment. She has since asked to return, so she will be coming back to us starting this week, I believe it is. So we want to welcome her back. We've also have 2 resignations in the custodial department. We have Mr. Nick Fitton, custodian at Webster Middle School. We have Mr. Michael Scott, a groundskeeper and custodian here at the high school, assisting with when people are short-staffed and coming in. So I wish them the best of luck in their new roles. We have no transfers at this time, and we have our vacant positions down below. I can say that our staff are currently actively interviewing for those positions. We do have candidates coming in, so I am pleased with that. It seems like the pool for teachers has ramped up a little bit, but we haven't had a lot of teacher turnover, which I'm happy about, so that's good. If we could just fill those ABAs and IAs, that would be key for us. Are there any questions about personnel?
Through the chair.
Member Miller?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. I'm very disappointed that the Fittons will not be in our school system anymore after dedicating 30 years, over 30 years to the system, and due to what they feel has been a tremendous lack of support the last few years. And I am sad that our students will not get to know these people.
I appreciate your comments, Ms. Miller. Anything else? Management and operations. So as we close out the school year, we are taking a look at all our processes across the district, what's worked well, what we need to improve on, and this is going to be a focus for our summer work upcoming. So we are reviewing all of our policies, procedures, handbooks, what we're doing well and what needs to be worked on, so that we can improve on that over the summer. In addition to our processes and policies, it's time for recruiting and hiring. And as you know, this kicks up over the summer months. I'm hopeful that we can fill any positions and we'll set ourselves up for success in the upcoming school year. And then moving on, Ms. Contos and I are also working closely to close out the end of the year. Financially, we continue to be on track and monitor everything closely, and we look forward to successfully closing out another school year. And then in addition to that, Dr. Mackay and Ms. Lois Taylor are working closely to submit the 21st Century Grant application. As we get to this time of year, all the new grant applications are coming out and opening up for the fiscal year, so it's a busy time as they are writing grants, getting them into the new system, and also closing out grants to complete a new year. Are there any questions on management and operations? Okay. In other updates, I wanted to give a big congratulations and a big thank you to Ramona Kelly. Ms. Kelly retired after 35 years with the town of Webster. Ms. Kelly was a great support to the business office over her many years. Ms. Contos and I attended a gathering to celebrate her on May 28th. She was the assistant town accountant. She did payroll in the office. She was one of the first staff members that we sat with when we were implementing the Munis integration years ago. It was our former town accountant, Pam LaDuke. It was Ramona Kelly from the town, myself, and Mary Beth Huberdahl. We spent a lot of time implementing and bringing in the system that we still use today. And she has been a constant for us over the years. If we needed support or something, or if we had a question, we could always call her, get some feedback and assistance from her. So I just wanted to give a big thank you to Ms. Kelly and wish her the very best in her retirement. Moving on, there's been, spring is a busy time of year. We've had spring concerts across the district. It's a great time to see families come out and the students shine as they perform for their last time this school year. I want to give a big thank you to all the staff who invest their time in making all of these performances happen. A lot of work and preparation goes into that, and they do a wonderful job. It's amazing to see how far they come from when they walk in at the beginning of the year until how they close out a year. So I just want to thank all of our staff for their efforts that they put in. In addition to our concerts, we're also holding our field days across the district. And they were held at Park Ave. And I'd like to thank our community partners, the fire department, for always coming and cooling off our students, putting up their big fire hoses to let showers come down. The kids, even doesn't matter whether it's warm or cold, the kids enjoy getting wet and running through and having a great time. So I want to thank them for giving up their time and coming out to support us at the school department. I'd also like to give a big thank you to our athletic director, Mr. Tony Ferranto, for holding his field day on May 30th for Webster students. It's an opportunity for the coaches to be here and the kids come out and run through some skills and drills and have some fun with the students, and I appreciate the efforts it takes for them to organize such an event and have the coaches come out and to support our students. So thank you to all of them. Are there any questions about those items before I move on?
Member Blair?
Sorry. Well, I just wanted to thank you for highlighting all the fun things going on in Webster, and field day and the spring concerts are always a great time for all our students. But I wanted to jump back, I apologize, to just acknowledge Dr. Mackay and Ms. Taylor for doing that grant, and just kind of acknowledge how important it is to have those morning programs and the afternoon programs, especially at Park Ave. I think that really helps families who have very different hours. I know myself, I couldn't have gone to work on time for many, many years without that. They start very early and they go pretty late, and I know I have coworkers who struggle with that because their schools aren't so accommodating, and so I just kind of wanted to acknowledge that. That's a real help for the families and a real service for our community and our families.
Thank you. They put in a lot of effort, and this year we're up for the exemplar grant. So fingers crossed, they're doing a lot, they're spending a lot of time and putting a lot of thought into the writing of this grant.
That's great.
So it's a lot of work, and I appreciate their efforts on it. They're always, I can say Dr. Mackay is always looking for ways to be creative and to bring extra into our district through funds and collaboration, and to improve our students' experience here. So I appreciate her hard work and efforts on that.
Great. Yeah, thank you for highlighting that. That's a great point. Really important for families and for students alike. The athletic field day is another, it's a great opportunity to let students know, younger students know what we have to offer for sports and other activities and things like that. I just wondered how the turnout was for that.
I heard it was pretty good. I wasn't able, I usually, and they had to move it indoors. They did move it indoors for a bit.
Okay.
So I didn't get a final count on that, and I wasn't able to attend that because I was out of town that day. But I know he held it rain or shine, and he was there, and the coaches were there, and they do their best to entertain the kids and keep the kids engaged, and they do a wonderful job with that.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
he's been highly committed to continuing to advance that and getting that visibility, and we're lucky to have him.
Yeah, agreed.
And then senior awards were held on June 2nd. You all were there. It was a wonderful night, and the students were awarded over $90,000 worth of scholarships. So I want to give a congratulations to all the students who received scholarships, but more importantly, I wanted to give a thank you to all the families and the community members who come and present and give to our students and give back to our community, and thank them for their continued support, because it means so much to our students to have that foundation when they go off to school, to have that little extra support. So thank you to our community members and all of those who have set up scholarships over the years, who come, who give back to their community on a regular basis. I just wanted to say thank you for that. And then also, we had our grads on parade on June 4th. Again, they went to Park Ave and the other schools. That was a wonderful event. It's always wonderful to see the students walk through the buildings and see their old staff members from years ago, and to see the little kids. I think they get more excited than the kids at some point. And it's just a wonderful event, and I hope it's a tradition that we keep going for many years to come. It's wonderful. And then on Thursday, I also attended the Girl graduation that was held at the Sturbridge House. We had 2 students graduate. We had Sam Ramos and Erin Costa from Webster graduate from Grow. Miss Costa was actually the student chosen to give the speech at graduation, and she did a fantastic job with it. I was very proud of her. She was very nervous when she got up there, and she told everybody how nervous she was, but she plugged through, she did it, she finished, and she was so proud, and we were so very proud of her. So it's really nice to see the successes that happen, you know, and even if it can't be here, that we can support them somewhere else so they succeed. They are both moving on to school. I think she is going to Quinsigamon, and actually Sam has a job lined up. He was in part of a program, so that's good. And then lastly, we had our graduation on Friday night here. It was a wonderful evening. The weather couldn't have been better. It wasn't too hot and it wasn't cold at all. It was a great turnout, and it was a really wonderful night. And I would like to thank our senior class advisors, Miss Sam Bodette and Miss Caroline Daniels, along with Miss Nieves and Mr. Renaud and Mr. Carney, Miss Alley, for all their work and efforts that they put in making such a nice, memorable event for everybody. I just think it was a beautiful evening, and I want to thank all the families that came out, and I want to wish our students the best of luck as they're going off, and hopefully they won't be strangers, that we'll see them giving back to us someday in the community and being a part of it. So, and on that note, that concludes my report, unless anybody has any questions.
Thank you, Mrs. Perangeli. Any questions or comments from the committee? Well, hearing none, the next item on the agenda is the business manager report. Good evening, Mrs.
Good evening, everyone. I'd actually like to start with the senior class, and what a great job they did with their senior song, and actually seeing them sing it on the bus for the, the grads on parade. It was, that's a hard song, and I thought they harmonized and did such a good job. So, I mean, Mr. Carney did a great job. That was great. Going to get started with the Bartlett High School renovation project. So overall, great news, phase 3, we're 84.5% complete. Isn't that great? So, good portion through phase 3 with a completion date at the end of November, with us moving in over December break, and then phase 4 wrapping up at the end of June in 2027. So one more full school year to go to get through the project. And one of the things we've been working on is to advance the hardscape work outside. I talked a little bit about that previously, so that would really advance some work that was originally going to happen in phase 4 into phase 3. Looks like we have a plan in place starting once school is out and going until school returns, to actually start getting in all of that new curbing, all of the new sidewalks, doing all the milling of the asphalt, and then the repaving of that. So we have a schedule that we're working around. We're adjusting summer school drop-off and pickup at Bartlett, as well as coordinating that with all the furniture arrival that's going to go on. So lots of coordination going on, but I think advancing this work to this time frame makes the best sense for us overall. Otherwise, it would have been disruptive during the school year to try to fit that in with regular standard traffic coming through the campus. In terms of upcoming tasks, the team is working on installing the structural steel in Section A. They're preparing to install the new roof. They're actually finished with the removal of the existing roof deck and doing that abatement. They actually have started to do some framing of the interior walls, believe it or not, and they've been working on the foundation and ongoing punch list items. So punch list items from both Phase 1 and Phase 2. So we have those 2 punch list items. Phase 1, we only have 4 items open. You may recall when we finished it, we had thousands of items that were open. So we're down to 4. The total value of those are at $19,000. And then Phase 2, we have 140 items open, valued at $330,000. So they're continuing to work on that. And probably the hottest topic, which I know I've been talking a lot about, and it's really on my mind, is the continuous planning and scheduling for the disposal of our existing furniture and the receipt of the new furniture. So I anticipate we'll be bringing the surplus items to be declared at the school committee at the next meeting. Once I have a list, even before it comes here to be declared, I'll start work on seeing if we can find people who are interested in taking them. I will go out to the business manager list throughout the state. I will start there as our first step, and then we'll look at other options. Depending on where we land with that, we may end up doing, silent auctions in the school, have people come in and see what we can do before actually having to dispose of it. So we'll make our best effort to find a home for it. Let me pause and see if there's any questions.
Through the chair.
Member Miller?
Just quickly, one is, do you know when, like, the pre-K will be coming over?
Pre-K will likely be in the following school year.
Yeah,
Because the playscape will not be done until Phase 4.
They're gonna do that. I thought they were gonna try and do that.
They haven't committed to getting
They're
that done in
trying
the
to
summer.
move it up, but regardless, I don't think we're gonna move them in the middle of the year
Right.
to a new location.
Yeah.
So we'll probably wait till the next school year. That'll give them the summer to get set up the way they want to get set up and make sure we have our program and everything intact.
Because really, based on December break, it's actually, I think,
It's a
4
quick
days. Like, it's not,
It's a quick turnaround.
it's a quick turnaround, so there's a lot to move.
Yeah.
No.
So,
I also just want to express a thank you again to Marfray Insurance for all the help they've given through this, especially with storage and so forth.
They've been incredibly generous and helpful
Yeah.
with their talent as well, so.
Mhm. It needs, when we called and we said we need some desks, or we called and said we need this, they've just been, okay, what can we do to help? And they've been so supportive of everything we've asked.
They've donated filing cabinets and just a number of items. They're really super valuable
It's a great
community
partnership.
partner. Yeah. All right, I'm going to move on to some regular maintenance updates. So on Monday, June 1st, we actually had a smoke detector at Webster Middle School that activated an error which caused the fire alarm to sound and thus prompted a response from the fire department. This did cause a slight delay in the start of school because it happened right around drop-off time. That faulty sensor was serviced and replaced by 10:30 that day, so we did not have a reoccurrence of that.
But Mrs. Miller got in her car and drove here, because I only live around the corner.
Oh, I didn't know.
And I'm like, there's nobody here.
And another item that actually just surfaced this week is our water heater at Park Ave is leaking and has a crack in it. So it does not appear to be repairable at this point, so we're reaching out to pretty quickly, or as quickly as we can, get that replaced. The good news is we still have hot water in the building. It has not impacted the delivery of hot water, but we are at risk of that with the pressure in that tank and with that crack of potentially having, some water, significant water leakage. So we're trying to get ahead of that. So have begun that process. Any questions? All right, and some other updates, I don't know if you've been following this or not, but the legislature has recently passed, at least the Senate has passed its version of the Massachusetts Retirement Plus legislation. They just passed that on June 4th. The House of Representatives actually passed their version of it back in 2025. And what this is really intended to address a long-standing enrollment issue that affected, they're estimating between 6,500 and 8,500 teachers across the state who didn't have that opportunity to enroll in it. So this is giving another one-time opportunity for those teachers who missed that original enrollment to actually get enrolled. They'd actually have to elect to, give the necessary catch-up contributions, including interest and all of that, but that really increased sort of the percentage of their pension, so it's pretty significant for a lot of teachers. So at this point, the House and the Senate really need to reconcile their two versions of the bill before it can be passed along to the governor to sign. I do know the Mass Association of Superintendents was a bit disappointed. They're happy that it passed, but they were hoping that there was going to be a change to the waiting period that is in place for once you do retire, when you can actually work for the same employer. So let's say someone wanted to come back and sub, or if they wanted to come back and tutor, that waiting period is 60 days, and they were hoping that that was going to be shortened, and that did not get included in the bill. So at this point, we're just waiting on the House and the Senate to get a reconciled bill that they can then move forward to the governor to sign. And we looked at it, and I think we saw potentially across the district, was it 10 to 12 that may fall into that category, roughly? That could have, we don't know if they actually had enrolled or not. We were just looking at time frames in terms of 2001 of who could have missed it if they were here at that time frame. It's hard to know if they actually enrolled or not. We don't have that information handy, so. And that concludes my updates.
Thank you for your updates, Mrs. Condos. Any questions or comments from the committee? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda under old business, which is a monthly report on fundraising applications. As a reminder, it's the role of the school committee to review fundraising activities, but we don't approve fundraising activities. Those are done at the building level. I see there's two in here. The first is the car wash that was postponed, excuse me, due to the freezing cold weather and rain on
It's hard to believe it's spring.
I know it. And the other is the Tasty Tuesday snacks for teachers, and that was sponsored by the benefiting the 18 to 22-year-old program. So, any questions or comments from the committee about those activities? Hearing none, the next item on the agenda is the discussion and approval of the strategic plan.
Yep. So at the last school committee meeting, we presented our strategic plan, and I had asked if the committee had any comments or to reach out to me so we could review, and I did not hear back from anybody. So I am looking for your approval on our strategic plan.
Is there any discussion around the strategic plan?
Through the chair.
Member Millett?
I'm sorry there aren't other people here to adjust this, because after going over, you hear one time and you go over things, and going over this plan, I have some real major concerns. And one is, in the first goal, it has to do with providing a safe environment for students and teachers, for all staff, but for the life of me, I could not find that addressed.
You couldn't find
The
that?
safety part of the goal. And I could be wrong. My other concern is the multi-tiered support system goals. And I have a concern there because, yes, it says the teachers are going to get professional development and get this information, but they also need physical support.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that comes from our interventionists and our parents. Wow, it's not going to happen. We don't have enough paras, number one. And the interventionists and the paras are being used as substitute teachers when people are out.
Mhm.
So there has to be a plan B. And also, these goals are not new. They're the same goals, just written differently. It's like the MTSS support system. Before it was called differentiated instruction. Now it's just a different document.
Are you suggesting that that's a goal that isn't relevant any longer?
No, not at all.
Oh,
I don't think that there's support there, enough support to achieve the goals. The goals always are wonderful the way they're written, but you have to have something to back them up, not just, this is what we would like to do. But I personally, in the last couple of years, the way staff has had to be used, especially as substitutes, that support's not there. And we have to find, if you're going to have a goal, and we want it all achieved, and according to, I even did some more research on the multi-tiered system, what are we doing for the higher kids? We address, it's always addressing the needs, absolutely, and I'm for it, addressing students that are struggling, absolutely, positively. But there are also students who need to be advanced.
Mhm.
And I don't see that addressed. So, and I think they're major concerns. Do I have a problem with multi-tiered support? Absolutely not. It has to be done from the top to the neediest student, absolutely, positively. But we have to have the resources and the support to do it. And I don't see that we do. Unless there's a miracle. So if the support isn't there, then you need to fine-tune this goal
So
and figure out what to do.
yeah, and the support doesn't just come from our academics or our paras.
Oh, I know.
We have blocks within our middle school, support blocks where they do the interventions in the morning, so we have that block. We have WIN blocks at the, what I need blocks at the elementary school. We have done a lot of work around this, just trying to actually look at the data, to get data dives into rotation to see what our students need. We do a lot of SSTs, student support teams. We have created this year with our SEB Academy, so a lot of work via social, emotional, that we participated in with DESE to tackle some of this work, to help us. We've been involved in 2 initiatives with DESE, an SEB and a SAS Academy. So we've been working, and they're kind of in isolation, but a lot of the work is similar. So we're working on meshing those 2 together. We've kept them separate because a lot of our systems are separate, but we're incorporating them together so that we have a whole system. So they are really working on coming out of this with an action plan for this coming year. They're finishing that up now, what they're working on. But we are, are you right? We have been pulling our academics, and we have been just very short with our paras. Not because we don't want to have them or they're not built into our budget, but because we couldn't. Now this year, we've seen a reduction in our Title I. So that's impacting our budget. And we didn't certainly have the funds to build additional into our budgets to add more staff. But what we're seeing across the district is that where we really need the support is in the Tier 1 instruction. We can't get to Tier 2 and Tier 3 until we're solid with Tier 1. A lot of the things that we need to fix are in Tier 1. And so in order to do that, we have to look at our attendance, look at our behavior, which we're putting a lot of effort into, looking at our behavior across the district, And then also looking at the data and then doing something about it, so we can respond to that. So there's been a lot of work around that, and we've spent a lot of time, not only with our internal team, but with our state partners in creating that. And this comes from our staff. What you're looking at came from our staff. This wasn't something that we built in isolation. This was feedback from our staff, from our students, from our parents. So these weren't things that we just said, this is what we need to work on. This was feedback that we've gotten, which you were a part of the process when we created this.
I did not feel I was particularly welcomed, let's put it that way. And I still have concerns that things are not explained more in this plan. That there are objectives and there are goals, but there isn't enough meat behind those about how you can sit and tell me that now. Somebody looking at this plan wouldn't have a clue. And I know you can't put everything in there, but there's got to be, you have to be able to show how it's going to happen. And I think that's what I really have a concern about. And the first goal was never addressed. The safety environment. I read it more than one time, and I did not see that fully addressed.
By implementing the structures, we're going to be reducing student behavioral incidents, and it tells you how we're going to do and how we're going to measure those benchmarks at the end.
Right, but it doesn't refer to a safety environment. It refers to how you're going to somewhat, and it doesn't explain a lot about the multi-tiered support. It doesn't go in, to me, it doesn't go into it enough. And it doesn't address at all part of a goal. If there's a goal, don't have it as goal if you're not going to adjust it. So, those are my concerns. You have to, have a very good direction to go into, and I agree with what you're saying. It's not written in there, but I agree with what you're saying. But you also have to have things in place to be able to do it. And I'm not comfortable that we have things in place to make it feasible. The goals, are they good? Yes, but I don't think we have enough things in place to make that happen. That's my opinion. And well, at least the plan doesn't show that.
So Member Millett, I have to assume you're coming at this from a place of helpfulness.
Absolutely.
What would you propose as a helpful step forward from here? I know that we were presented with this plan at our last meeting, and it was my understanding that we would provide feedback sort of offline to be incorporated ahead of approving this document this evening. Now, I wasn't part of the group that put this together. I understand that you were part of that group.
Some of it.
From a practical perspective moving forward, what do you have suggestions on a path forward here?
I think it has to be more explicit, even in steps. We're going to have this done.
If I could offer a perspective, because I am not accustomed to strategic plans being very detailed. They're your higher, broader level goals, and then you have cascading action items or working groups or things that come below that, because strategic is your vision and your direction, right? I don't know if what you're looking for are the things that have to be built underneath this, like the cascading goals that go down to other people, where we're going to differentiate by the needs of each school, right? Because everything won't be a one-size-fits-all, right? So I don't know if we need to marry something in between, right? That
That's
achieves
what I was
that.
thinking, if you don't mind. I would think that same perspective. I think what you're thinking maybe, and I hear what you're saying, this doesn't read as far as like a blueprint, right? Like,
Right.
you can't read it like a blueprint of what's gonna happen. So is it that but it's like a vision of what you want,
Right, and the school plans will be more
And
detailed.
so, yeah, is it that
To
when we
this.
meet, that we go over each of these, like, partially and say, these are like, for instance, these are the evidence-based interventions that Park Ave's putting in place to address this. These are the ones at the middle school, and kind of talk as they start to put the interventions and the things in place, and like we review that as a committee, or is that not?
I think it's, the other part that bothered me is, as part of the teacher's goals, they have to show that they're working on part of the district plan. If it's not explicit enough and it's not direct enough to show them, how can they use it in their goals? And according to the DESI site, part of a teacher's goals have to address some of the district goals.
They ought to be aligned with the
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. And
Aligned,
I would
yes.
be interested to hear if like the principals are meeting with the teachers and talking about, for instance, their win blocks and how that aligns with the strategic goals and how they can change those so they can make those part of their professional development goals. Because I think what you're saying is that it can't be a one-size-fit-all blueprint because we're in 3 different schools.
This is a district plan.
Right, and
The
so
schools are
each
gonna-
school is gonna have like their own subdivision of what this means to them and put it into place,
Right,
is that
because
correct?
each school is in a different
Yeah.
spot a little bit, right?
Okay. Yep.
So if we look at the first strategic initiative, we're talking about articulate roles and shared responsibilities within the MTSS structure. A lot of work has gone around this year of putting that MTSS structure. What are we doing with that? What are our actions? If you look at our benchmarks, we're working on defining what that system for academic, behavioral, and social and emotional sports, including a process for identifying, matching students with the appropriate interventions, and monitoring their progress. So we're going to have a structured system in place to do that. That's what we're working on with our SEB teams. That's what the DESI cohort has been about this year. Once we do that, we're going to present, review, and provide targeted PD on those structures, right? Because now it's a new system that we've built. We're going to provide PD on that MTSS, evidence-based intervention and progress monitoring. We're going to complete and monitor the implementation of the system to make sure it's doing what we want to do, including stakeholder surveys. So the only way we know if the work that we're doing is fine is getting that feedback. Do people feel supported? Do people feel in the classroom that systems are improving? Are we seeing that through student success? That's the outline. Now how a school does that is going to be a little more, defined
Yeah.
in their plan. But that's just the first one. So this is an overall system, and that's how we're going to do it. And then on the second page, we're showing the evidence. These are the things that we're going to collect.
So would you feel more comfortable, Member Millett, if like we talked about the evidence throughout our time on school committees, so like you saw the action plan part of it?
I am still concerned that there was items that were not addressed, and I don't think it's clear. That's my
I'm sorry.
opinion.
Well, certainly you're entitled to your viewpoint, and I think that it's important that we be in alignment on this plan moving forward.
Just so you know, we've worked on this all year long with 18 or 16 staff members, the state, and a representative of the school committee. There was a lot of effort and work put into this. We have to submit a school improvement plan by June 30th, which is built off of this, which will be coming to you at the next committee because we are required by DESI. We were told that we have to upload that. So those plans are going to be aligned with this. So if we start changing that,
Right. What is the desire of the committee? Is there a motion to approve this, or is this something that we're not ready to approve?
Up to you. I'm not in a position to approve it, but that doesn't mean my fellow committee people cannot do that.
Yeah, Member Miller, if I can be candid, I'm surprised and somewhat disappointed that this is the moment that we realize that our school committee representative that led this process from the school committee lens is dissatisfied with the plan. I think from the perspective of a desire to help the district move forward and our students and our staff move forward, we're in a difficult position now to be learning these concerns at this juncture.
Okay, so I didn't say them soon enough, is basically what you're saying.
I'm offering feedback that it would have been
Okay.
helpful to have that information
Fine.
sooner than this evening. That doesn't negate your valid feedback that you're sharing.
And we want your feedback. I want that to be clear. And it's important to us that we're all working towards the same thing. We all want the best thing for the district.
When is our next school committee meeting?
Not, it's the 22nd.
Second.
It's that Monday. And you'll have 3 school improvement plans. And we're trying to get the handbooks. So I'm trying to get the packets together for you, so you'll have them by the end of this week. So you have a couple weeks to review everything for the next meeting, because I know it's a lot of material.
Could you give that date again? Is it the 23rd?
It's a Monday, the
The
22nd.
22nd. So I'm open to suggestions for the path forward on this plan. We're looking at,
May I ask a clarifying question? If we were to, if we wouldn't approve this plan until the 22nd per se, when more, would that halt something for you?
yeah,
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that is not enough time. That doesn't mean
Yeah,
that
that's,
we couldn't, we need to post for 48 hours. If the desire of the committee is to reconvene, I would be reluctant to make sweeping changes to this, knowing that it's feeding school improvement plans.
yeah.
If there is an appetite for having a workshop or something of that nature where we unpack some of this information and gain clarity in order to have more confidence in the way that the plan is structured, or make adjustments to ensure that there's a level of clarity to the degree that it's reasonable for a strategic plan as opposed to a school improvement plan, or goals and objectives that tend to be much more specific.
And so another option would be, we could vote tonight, and then the school improvement plans would be with us.
Would be more detailed.
And be here by the end of the week for most part for us to review before
Yeah.
June 22nd?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm
sorry,
trying
I'm
to
just
give you
trying
as
to
much
think
time as
of all the-
possible. I've asked them to get them to me by tomorrow, so
And
that
then
way
we
we
can
can get a
review.
packet shared with you early, so you have a good period of time to look at them before Monday, the 22nd.
And each school will have their own
Yes,
plan with goals that are aligned with this
yep,
plan?
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry, I just wanted to make
Yep.
sure I'm
Yeah, no, this
still
is
clear.
no, you're absolutely right.
Okay. All right,
And it should be more detailed in how the schools,
are gonna do each of
Yeah.
these goals
yeah,
and,
how they align with it, yep.
okay,
And goal 1 has to be addressed, it's not addressed.
okay. All right, that makes more sense to me. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you, Member Miller, too, for bringing that up. That makes sense.
What is the desire of the committee?
I think to move forward, I feel like we should, I think that it's for me, I'm ready to vote so I can see the school strategic plan.
Did you want to make a motion to approve this, or is there some,
I'll make a motion to approve.
there's a motion? I will second it. There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please poll the committee?
Member Caleros?
Yes.
Member Millet?
No,
Chair Siddiqui?
Yes. Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is the discussion and approval of the Director of Finance and Operations job description.
Yes, in your packet, I have a job description, As you know, when we filled Ms. Contos' position, we advertised that as a business manager. She has now been in the role for 3 years, and the role is definitely more than a business manager. The majority of positions, especially when you oversee the amount of departments that she has, the operations, the entire operations of the school district, it's a lot. So I think the title is more fitting for her role here in Webster, and I fully support the change in title from business manager to director of fitness, finance and operation, not fitness, finance. She is fit.
Are there any questions or comments from the committee?
Through the chair.
Member Caleros?
I just think you've done a wonderful job of the budget, and what you're in charge of is not really my wheelhouse, and I think you do a wonderful job of explaining it so that I can understand and have a real clear picture, and so I just want to thank you for that. And I agree that your job is multifaceted. There's lots of problem solving going on there, and I just want to thank you for, it feels as though you're on top of just about everything before it even happens, and so I really appreciate that.
I would echo those sentiments, Mrs. Contos. It's hard to believe that 3 years have gone by since you joined the team, and at the same time, it's hard to believe that it's only been 3 years. It feels like many years between the building project and some of the other really positive things that you've accomplished in your time here. And
You know, if I could just say that, you know, for me, titles don't drive me, right? Because the work is the work. Titles maybe help other people understand the scope of responsibility and what you're doing. What I truly loved is working with the people that I work with. We have a great team here who's very committed. Everyone has one thing in common, is that really delivering on the experience of the students in Webster and making Webster a stronger community, and our school is a staple for that. So while it's always nice to get a new title, it's never been one of the things that has driven me. The work is the work. I will continue to do the same work regardless of what the title is, because that's just how I was raised. Right? We come in, we have strong, good work ethic, and we do what's right, whether or not it's in the description of your job or not, right? That's what you do, so.
And to be clear, this job description more or less more accurately defines the job that you're already doing. And it's not a change in duties per se. It's just an acknowledgement.
The scope of the work remains the same. That's why I said the title itself is really just a title that maybe gives someone else better clarity in terms of what it is that this job function is responsible for.
Great. Well, thank you. Thanks for your
And I just happen to be occupying it at the time.
Any other questions or comments from the committee? All right. Well, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the Director of Finance and Operations job description.
So moved.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please poll the committee?
Member Caleros?
Yes.
Member Millet?
Yes.
Chair Siddiqui?
Yes, motion passes. And the next item on the agenda is the discussion and approval of the groundskeeper/custodian job description.
Sure, I'll lead off this discussion. So in your packet, you have a copy of the original job description as well as the revised job description. So with the recent vacancy in the district, we thought that this was a good opportunity to take a look at the job description before we post it and make some updates. So let me walk you through what the changes are. The primary change that we're making within this job description is the reporting structure. The existing job description currently has this individual reporting directly to me. Right? So what we're recommending is that this person or this position reports directly to the head custodian at Bartlett with a dotted line connection to the athletic director, because it's a shared role. And then I become involved if there's any conflict between the district-wide tasks that need to be done. I come in to really help prioritize that. So we think that makes more sense from a day-to-day operations and keeping the job moving forward. Given the scope of what I do, being able to have that type of availability is challenging. So we think that that's a recommended change. In addition to that, you'll see that the ground duties have just been expanded on a bit. They're essentially the same, just a little bit broader. And then we expanded on to the qualifications a bit more. In particular, because this is the only person who's responsible, not the only, there's other people, but primarily responsible for grounds, is really this person being able to work independently, right? And having that view on things that need to be done and prioritizing what needs to be done. So we wanted to expand some of those as well to make sure that that was captured. And this position is and will continue to be part of the custodial union.
Thank you for that.
Any
Mrs.
questions
Connors.
about the revisions that I can answer?
Any questions or comments from the committee? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the groundskeeper custodian job description.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please poll the committee?
Member Caleros?
Yes.
Member Millet?
Yes.
Chair Siddiqui?
Yes, motion passes. Thanks for taking a look at that, and I see the physical requirements seem to be in line with what you'd expect, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's great.
Yep.
Good work. And the next item on the agenda is the acceptance of donations. The first donation is in the amount of $500 to the Bartlett High School PBIS.
Yep.
Is it,
This was in memory of Barbara Jordanay. Ms. Jordanay was secretary and admin assistant here in our building. She worked in the special ed department in many years. When we were at the Fillmore building, she recently had passed, and they put any proceeds to be donated to Bartlett High School PBIS. So I want to thank the family for that. I knew Barbara, I worked with Barbara. She was a wonderful, sweet woman, and I know she will be missed by many.
thank you for that. And the other donation is hygiene products that were donated to the Webster Middle School from the Dudley Women's Club. So,
Yeah.
Any questions or comments about either of those donations? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept a donation in the amount of $500 to Bartlett High School PBIS in memory of Barbara Jordanay, and hygiene products from the Dudley Women's Club to Webster Middle School.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please poll the committee?
Member Caleros?
Yes.
Member Millet?
Yes.
Chair Siddiqui?
Yes, motion passes. And thank you to all of the folks who donated to our schools. We deeply appreciate your generosity. And the next item on the agenda is approval of surplus items.
Yes. In your packet is a list of old books that can no longer be used. They're outdated. They're missing items. So, and they were ones that were moved over here from the old building. There were boxes that were found, and we didn't want to dispose of them until we had the opportunity to go through them. So they have all been gone through, and this is the list of surplus.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the committee about these surplus items? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to declare surplus items of the miscellaneous books from Webster Public Schools, and to direct the superintendent or the director of finance and operations to auction off, donate, or otherwise recycle or dispose of these materials in conjunction with the provisions of Mass General Law 30B.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please poll the committee?
Member Caleros?
Yes.
Member Millet?
Yes.
Chair Siddiqui?
Yes, motion passes. And the next item on the agenda is the review, transfer, signing of warrants, bills, payroll, and vouchers. Adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please pull the committee?
Member Caleros?
Yes.
Member Millet?
Yeah.
Chair Siddiqui?
Yes, meeting adjourned.